Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. A new report is out that shows that low-income people in Delaware, their needs are not being met when it comes to civil cases. Here to talk about that is Dan Atkins, director of the Community Legal Aid Society. So if you're in a criminal case, you can have an attorney that the state or the municipality would pay for. If you're in a civil case, you don't get that.
That's exactly right, Larry. There's a constitutional right to counsel in criminal cases when you're at risk of imprisonment of 6 months or longer. No such right in civil cases. So the state and the federal government don't have an affirmative obligation to fund civil legal services, and that's why we're in the problem we're in today.
And what did the study show? How bad is the problem?
So our study, we commissioned an independent study to look at two main things. One was, what is the need in the low-income community, the legal need? And what we found was overwhelming need. The vast majority of people who are poor, more than 80%, have unmet legal needs. And the vast majority of those people in need have never consulted with an attorney.
Well, that's good news, isn't it?
Well,
if you've never had to consult with an attorney.
No, that's the difference. That doesn't mean that they haven't had to. It means they haven't. They have had the need, and they just haven't, either because they weren't aware, but more likely because there aren't enough attorneys to do the work. So where I work at Community Legal Aid Society and the 3 legal aid organizations in Delaware, DVLS and LSCD, along with Community Legal Aid, we are turning away 4 out of 5 people that need our help because we don't have the resources to help them.
What is a typical case you're talking about? You said that 80% of their legal needs are not being met. Is it things like eviction?
Exactly right. So more than 50% of our cases at the 3 organizations are about keeping people housed, keeping people fed, and keeping people free from domestic violence. It's more than well over half of our cases.
And so your organization and other organizations like you are there for those people. Where do you get your funding?
We get our funding from the federal government in part, state government in part, and then what we can raise in the community. And that's why I'm here today to talk about this umbrella organization that we created to try to raise money privately for the organizations, and that's DelawareCCJ.org. And you can go on our website and get information about the work that we're doing, the people that we're helping. We're helping the most vulnerable people in the state of Delaware. These are people who are poor, people with disabilities, people who are elderly, homeless veterans, and immigrants. And we're trying to do more with less. There are 300,000 people in Delaware right now who are at 200% of the federal poverty level or below. Federal poverty level for a single individual is $12,000 a year. For a family of 4, about $25,000 a year. So imagine that. And then you double the federal poverty level and you're looking at a family making $50,000. They can't afford a private attorney either. So there are 300,000 people who are potentially in need of assistance who don't have access. What are they giving up? They're giving up salary. We start our attorneys much lower than what they can make in the private sector. But what they're gaining is the ability to do this really invigorating, inspiring work.
And not only that, but be in a courtroom and be in the process all the time.
Yes, some of our lawyers are in the courtroom every day. For instance, the eviction cases are domestic violence cases where we're helping people get protective orders. They're in courtrooms every week. We have a lot of attorneys who are not. They may be in administrative hearings and in cases that take a lot longer to develop.
But that experience is invaluable. That experience for somebody that maybe wants to leave you and go on and do some other work somewhere else, it's almost like continuing law school.
We are very lucky. We find people who want to do this as a career, who don't look at this as a stepping stone. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Wow.
And I'm not the most experienced person in my office, believe it or not. There are people that have been doing it their entire lives.
You're changing every perception people have about lawyers.
Hopefully for the better. Yes,
No,
it can't get much worse, right?
Absolutely. How do people, if people want to help you and people want to fund you, where do they find you?
DelawareCCJ.org. There's a Donate Now button, and we'd really appreciate it. On that website, people will also be able to see a report that we just issued showing that for every dollar invested in civil legal aid, $7 is coming back to the Delaware community.
Are you not getting any state or government money?
No, we do get some, but we don't get enough. 80% of the civil legal needs of our clients are going unmet, so we need more.
Well, it was great to have you back on again. Thanks for sharing the report and keep up the great work. I appreciate
Thanks,
you
Larry.
being here. Dan Atkins, Director of the Community Legal Aid Society. When we come back, we do have a very special guest. Are you looking for a dog? We've got one to show you when the Delaware Way continues.